Dragon Ball starts holding tight to thigh 18. Chapter 31. Practice without sun and moon. This is especially true in the spirit time house. 2 months you by. At this time, Lapis had stopped absorbing vitality. The bloodlines in his body had absorbed enough vitality to meet the conditions for activation. Although he had absorbed the Yuan Qi for a month longer than Mo Yuan, the amount of Yuan Qi he absorbed was only 1/4 of the amount of the Yuan Qi absorbed by Mo Yuan. Lapis woke up from cultivation. Although the surface is calm, the joy in the eyes cannot be concealed. After the bloodline was activated, his combat power directly doubled. But it wasn't the happiest thing for him. In addition to the increase in combat effectiveness, the power of the bloodline allowed him to completely integrate with the permanent energy furnace in his body. From now on, he could rely on cultivation to enhance the energy furnace. In fact, the so-called innate energy is just that the energy recovery speed of the energy furnace is greater than the output energy. But it also limits the strength of his attacks. In the face of people whose combat effectiveness does not exceed his own, Lapis can be invincible, even rely on unlimited energy, unlimited physical strength to consume the enemy to death. But in the face of someone stronger than himself, his so-called innate energy does not have much effect. Otherwise, if he can truly achieve unlimited energy, who will be his opponent? Don't talk about Sharu. Even later Buu couldn't help him. Unless it is a god of destruction, a person with special energy like Quan Wang can defeat him. And there is also an upper limit to the energy stored in the energy furnace. Without activating the bloodline, the permanent energy furnace in Lapis's body could not be enhanced by cultivation. If he wanted to become stronger, he could only become stronger by cultivating Qi. The null function of the permanent energy furnace is probably to ensure that he will not run out of energy. And there is no other use. But now it's different. The activation of the bloodline power allowed him to completely integrate with the permanent energy furnace. The permanent energy furnace is no longer a technological product, but a part of his body. He can enhance the permanent energy furnace by cultivating and absorbing vitality. The energy recovery speed of the permanent energy furnace is increased, the upper limit of energy storage is expanded, and there is no limit to its own energy output. In other words, he can release all the energy in his body in an instant. This greatly increases its attack power. However, in this way, his energy is no longer innate. It's just that the energy recovery speed is many times faster than others. Of course, if he controls his energy output to a lower amount than energy recovery, he can also achieve the so-called innate energy. But the significance of this is not great. In the face of a powerful enemy, if you can't break their defense, it's better to increase the output and directly destroy the enemy. Suppressing the joy in his heart, Lapis was about to get up from the ground. However, as soon as he moved his body, he found something that excited him more than their improvement of his strength. He felt that the clothes on his body that originally too well were actually a little tight. It ruled out the possibility of being beaten violently when he was cultivating. Then there is only one possibility. His body developed. Excited Lapis stood up abruptly. Sting! A shrill voice echoed in the spirit time house. Lapis, pants, I'm cracked. After these 2 months of cultivation, Lapis's body developed rapidly under the nourishment of Yuan Qi. He grew 20 centimeters taller and reached an altitude of 185 centimeters. The body is no longer as thin as before, although the muscles are not very large. It is still a lean type, but it is also larger than before. The enlarged body had already stretched the clothes extremely tightly, and when he slammed the force from the ground, the overwhelmed clothes were cracked at once. Poof! Lapis mechanically turned his head in the direction of laughter. I saw his cheap brother-in-law looking at him mockingly. To be precise, looking at his cracked pants. Through the crack in the pants, you can faintly see the handsome face inside who is blinded by the hood. So you believe in light too? It just so happens that your pants are broken. Do you want me to bring you a set of the same fashion? Lapis, oh, when he was transformed into a human being, he was only a teenager. Is it wrong for teenage boys to believe in light? Is there something wrong? After all, Mo Yuan had no professional training, and he couldn't hold it for a long time, holding his stomach on the side and laughing. Ha 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 ha, I'm not laughing at you. Ha 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 ha, hiccup tilde, ha 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 ha, just thinking of happy things. Ha 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 ha, forget about laughing. He also conjured up 3 sets of Bump Man's clothes. Held up to Lapis. You want this blue suit, or this set of red, or is it this set of red and blue? Reference to their 3 forms of Diga. Hard, fist hard. Lapis's SD hardened equals #3. Endure it. Lapis directly rushed up and punched Mo Yuan out, and then the two scuffed together. But neither of them used gas, just like a child acting. There is no method. You punch me and I punch. Half a day. Mo Yuan and Lapis lay on the ground with the same pig's head face. Mo Yuan looked at Lapis's pig-headed face, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but hiss. But his smile directly pulled the wound on his face. Can't help but complain. You guy, it's really dark. Don't you know if you hit people in the face? Cut tilde. You are kind enough to say, just your hand is the blackest. Lapis touched his swollen pig's face, and did not have a good airway. "That's not where you hit my face, RST, otherwise I wouldn't have hit me in the face." "Who made you laugh at me?" "Deserved it." "Don't talk nonsense. Where am I laughing at you? I am helping you realize your dream." Mo Yuan said righteously. "I'll help you think about it." You put on the bump man fashion, and then like this. Mo Yuan lay on the ground, his hands put on an L shape, and the purple light condensed on his arms, and then shouted, "Lapis Ray!" Boo-boo-boo. With Mo Yuan's cry, the purple light on his arms shot out, drawing a brilliant stroke for this miserable white space. "Ha ha ha, how? I helped you think of the name of the move. Is it moved?" Mo Yuan patted Lapis on the shoulder and laughed. There was no expression on Lapis's swollen face, but there was a dangerous glint in his eyes. "The hands are already clenched as well." "Bastard, I'll kill you." Don't hit you in the face." During the time when Mo Yuan came into the spirit time house, something happened in their outside world. Shalu accidentally meets Vegeta and Trunks. Shalu, who has absorbed hundreds of thousands of ordinary humans, has the same combat effectiveness as Vic Kerr. Neither Vegeta nor Trunks are his opponents. Fortunately, Vic sensed the aura of battle and arrived in time. Otherwise, Vegeta and Trunks will be absorbed by Shalu. When Vic arrived, Shalu immediately ran. Even if his combat effectiveness was no less than that of Bike, Shalu did not want to take this risk. After all, Vic also brought fairy beans, and after Vegeta and Trunks ate fairy beans, the injuries on their bodies recovered instantly. After being rescued, Trunks breathed a sigh of relief. But he discovered something that scared him. Something important was missing from him. Chapter 32. In an endless pure white space, two red bands of light intersect in the air and collide. Each collision can cause a thunderous sound in the air, and ripples in the shape of water waves spread around the point of collision. The wind is everywhere. The wind is surging, and the sand and stones are ying. Fortunately, there are not as many high-rise buildings in this spirit time house, otherwise the aftermath of this battle alone would be enough to destroy a city. After a long time, the Gting stopped. Two red bands of light stopped in the air and revealed their true bodies. They are none other than Mo Yuan and Lapis. Now they have been in the spirit time house for half a year. The red and burning on their bodies at this time was none other than the Realm King Fist. After Lapis activated the bloodline, Mo Yuan taught him the Realm King Fist. Lapis, who could sense the vitality, quickly learned the Realm King Fist. With a strong body, he can open the tenfold Realm King Fist without injury. More than 10 times more will cause a burden on the body. However, the Realm King Fist could only increase his chi, but it could not increase the energy recovery speed of his energy furnace. However, Lapis' original energy recovery speed was much faster than ordinary people. Even if the recovery speed remains unchanged, he can still maintain the state of the Realm King Fist for a long time. Mo Yuan and Lapis lifted the state of the Realm King Fist, and the red aura on their bodies was instantly extinguished. After half a year of cultivation, Mo Yuan's normal combat strength has reached 500 million. After Lapis activated the bloodline, his combat effectiveness doubled, and after 4 months of cultivation, his combat effectiveness was already as high as 1.5 billion. Just now, Lapis opened a tenfold Realm King Fist. Mo Yuan, on the other hand, opened the Realm King ST 30 times, making the combat power level with Lapis. Perhaps because of the fusion of the 4 bloodlines, Mo Yuan's body was extremely powerful, and he could even open the 20-fold Realm King Fist without injury. Although the 30-fold Realm King Fist will cause some damage to the body, under Mo Yuan's terrifying recovery ability, it will not take long to fully recover. After Mo Yuan's experiment with his physicalness, as long as the Realm King Fist was not used more than 50 times, it would not cause great damage to his body. However, if he encountered a powerful enemy and needed to use more than 50 times their Realm King Fist, Mo Yuan had a better choice and did not need to use this method of self-harm. The day's cultivation is over. Although after activating the bloodline, Mo Yuan can survive just by drinking water like their nemesis, but he still maintains the habit of eating. Even Lapis and Lazari maintain this habit. In addition to enjoying good food, the most important thing is that Mo Yuan likes the feeling of eating with friends and family. Since the death of his parents, Mo Yuan has been alone. The departure of his loved ones closed his heart. Reluctance to go out, unwillingness to make friends. But he was actually very eager for friends in his heart. He is such a contradictory person. Only on the internet will he open his heart. On the internet, he has made a lot of friends, and there seem to be countless words every day. But if a netizen in the same city says that he wants to meet Avine, he will then do various reasons to shirk. In fact, he wanted to go, but he couldn't get through the hurdle in his heart. Whenever he left the computer in the dead of night, put down his mobile phone, and the empty home accompanied him only a dead silence. Does he like solitude and enjoy solitude? He was just used to being alone. He also wants to go back to his previous time as a family of 3. It's just a pity that time doesn't turn back. After coming to this world, although there are dangers everywhere, he has gained love and family. Yes, in Mo Yuan's heart, the 3 of them, including number 16, are their own family. If he were to choose to go back or stay in this world now, he will not hesitate to choose to stay in this world, because there are already people here who he wants to protect all his life. This meal ended in the scramble between Mo Yuan and Lapis. Because he no longer needs to rely on food to allay his hunger, Mo Yuan no longer needs to prepare a large amount of food to prepare food. Just prepare the serving size of a normal person. Mo Yuan leaned back in the chair, holding a toothpick in his mouth, so uncomfortable. Lapis, on the other hand, was responsible for clearing the table. After all, it is a basic rule that people who cook do not wash dishes. It's been half a year. Lapis, I'm going out. Do you need me to call number 16 to come in and accompany you? Going out so soon? I can do it by myself. As if thinking of something happy, Mo Yuan had a happy smile on his face, and he did not hide his heart. No way, I miss my sister. Lapis, who had inadvertently been stuffed with a mouthful of dog food, glared at a pair of dead eyes. Please, Lazily is my sister. Cut, you don't care so much? Mo Yuan said disdainfully. Lapis sent out a sole question, then why don't you call me brother? Hearing this, Mo Yuan rolled his eyes. Do you know what sex is as a single dog? Mo Yuan got up and patted Lapis's shoulder sympathetically. Young man, you won't understand your sister's goodness. Young don't know how good my sister is, mistakenly treat girls as treasures. Young people don't know their sister's fragrance, mistakenly plant youth upside down. Sisters are good, sisters are wonderful, sisters have long legs and butt, sisters let you not worry, sisters treat you as a treasure. Gee. Mo Yuan looked at Lapis and shook his head, turned and walked towards the door of the Spirit Time House. Below the Karen Tower, a green, insect-like humanoid monster looks up at Kalanta. It is said that there are immortals living on it. I don't know if the taste of the gods is more delicious. Shalu licked his lower lip and let out a strange laugh. Then, Sharu pulled it straight out on the spot. Fly upwards at great speed. Soon, Sharu saw something like an island floating in the air. Shalu did not pause and you enter the temple. As soon as he entered the temple, Shalu was pleasantly surprised. He saw a man he thought about day and night. Shalu never expected that the person he had been looking for on the ground for so long and had not found it would actually end it in this temple. Although Lazily had been cultivating in the Spirit Time House for a year, her gear had changed greatly from before. But Sharu still recognized her at a glance. Number 18, merge with me. Sharu fell in front of Lazily and said terrible things very sincerely. Who are you? Lazily looked at Sharu expressionlessly. When Sharu you up from below just now, Lazily sensed his chi, a very weird breath, like a lot of different chi combined. Lazily was still wondering what it was. And so I saw this thing. Sure enough, it was as weird as his chi. In the face of Lazily's problem, Shalu did not hide it and directly explained it all. Wait, you mean underground labs? Which underground lab? Lazily was shocked when she heard that Sharu actually said that he came out of the underground laboratory. Jiang, of course. It's the underground laboratory below the lab you've been staying in. And the 17th? Where is he? Lazily ignored Sharu. I was thinking about how true Shalu's words were. She had also been to the underground laboratory, and there were no creatures except for Mo Yuan. Unless he came out before Mo Yuan. Could it be that he was a failure created by that smelly old man? And then it wasn't destroyed because of an accident? The more Lazily thinks about it, the more likely it becomes. After all, Mo Yuan didn't need to become a complete body by absorbing them. And this guy is still so ugly. He looks like he has failed plastic surgery. It's unappetizing to watch. That's right, he must have been a failure. Lazy thought resolutely. Since it is a failure, then help the smelly old man destroy him. Lazily looked at Sharu's eyes more and more dangerously. Sharu, who was still looking for Lapis, did not know that danger was coming. Chapter 33, Number 18, you should feel honored. After you are absorbed by me, a perfect and invincible Superman will be born in this world. That is, Dr. Gro's ultimate for years of continuous pursuit of research. After absorbing countless people, Shalu, who had greatly increased his strength, was now abnormally swollen, and he didn't put Lazily in his eyes at all. If Lazily is willing to absorb the best for him, otherwise it will just waste some time to forcibly absorb her. The chattering Sharu didn't notice at all, and with each more word he said, the chill in Lazily's eyes grew stronger. Picture perfect. The ultimate warrior in the world? Scold. It's a joke. Sharu's words made Lazily very disdainful. The same is combined by the cells of various martial arts masters. Mo Yuan only needs to cultivate himself to obtain terrifying power. And Sharu? Lazily could clearly sense the mottled aura on Sharu's body and the resentment of countless people. Obviously, Shalu has achieved his current strength by absorbing countless human life energy. This kind of thing that relies on external forces to make itself stronger is a defective product at first glance. Moreover, Shalu's strength is not strong. I really don't know where he got the contents to absorb himself and Lapis. In the end, Lazily came to a conclusion. Sharu is a brain-dead defector. Sharu is not completely brainless either. While using words to attract Lazily's attention, the tail behind him is secretly accumulating power, waiting for the opportunity. It seems that you are unwilling? Shalu saw that Lazily was completely unmoved, and a chill ashed in his eyes. Lazily looked at Shalu coldly without saying a word. She didn't believe what Shalu said. Since you don't want to, then I won't force it." With that, Shalu turned away, as if to leave. However, the moment Shalu turned around, the needle-like tail behind him moved, like a poisonous snake coming out of a hole. It stabbed at Lazily with lightning speed. Lazily didn't seem to react, and didn't dodge at all. "Junkie, join me." Shalu, who felt that he had won the battle, laughed wildly. But, faced with Shalu's inevitable blow, Lazily only felt bored and even wanted to yawn. Too slow. Shalu's surprise attack was too slow for Lazily. Just at the moment when Shalu's tail was about to hit Lazily moved. The girl's fair and slender Rui withdrew from her arms. The seemingly slow movement accurately grabbed Shalu's lightning-fast tail. What? The tail was really grasped by a huge force, and Shalu was suddenly shocked, and his originally triumphant face was replaced by panic. Lazily pinched Shalu's tail and carefully looked at the needle-like tip of the tail. "Is that what you used to absorb human life energy? What do you want to do?" Lazily ignored Shalu. The chi that controlled the body gathered in the hand, and the pure white chi wrapped around Lazily's hand. It then spreads on Shalu's tail through the medium of Lazily's hand. Hot. A sharp burning sensation came from the tail. The sharp pain from the burning instantly made Shalu scream. Shalu wanted to run away like a burning ass, but his tail was pulled by Lazily in his hand. Held by the terrifying force, Shalu couldn't pull his tail out at all. Just when the severe pain was about to spread from the tail to the whole body, Shalu immediately made a decision, without any hesitation, and directly cut off his tail. Ticking, purple blood dripped to the ground from the broken tail of Shalu. Shalu was dumbfounded, unable to believe what had just happened. According to the information given by Dr. Gro, his current strength should be more than the 17th and 18th. But now he was powerless to GHD back under the attack of the 18th. That's impossible. What Shalu didn't know was that this time and space had already changed dramatically because of the arrival of him and Trunks. Lazily and Lapis were not cultivated before, and their strength was also more than the future time and space of the cyborg 17 and 18. Not to mention that they had practiced in the spirit time house. With their current strength, unless Shalu becomes a complete body now, it is impossible to beat the two of them. Of course, the main reason is the strength of Lapis. Shalu has no intention of getting now, and just wants to run away quickly, continue to absorb humans, and then absorb Lazily when the strength is enough. However, if he wanted to escape, he had to ask Lazily if he agreed. Although Shalu is now weak, but he can absorb humans to quickly increase his strength. If left unchecked, it will inevitably pose a threat to them. Moreover, this ugly monster also vainly wants to absorb their sisters and brothers. He must not be allowed to leave. Determined to make up her mind, Lazily took the lead in attacking. High-speed movement is instantaneous. The gear of Lazily appeared behind Shalu. The slender and attractive long legs turned into a deadly weapon. Hit Shalu's big head. Under the huge gap in strength, Shalu could not react at all. Shalu, whose head was kicked by Lazily, only felt that his brain was like a mess of paste, and he, Bree-Y lost consciousness. The whole person was like being hit by a high-speed truck, and you out at great speed. Lazily chased after the victory and quickly followed Shalu, who you out upside down. Next, Shalu experienced what it was like to play football. It's just that he's the football. As if she had found a new toy, Lazily played in the air. Although this toy is it's ugly, but it's still nice to kick. Shalu has been passively beaten and has not been able to do anything to respond. No, it can't go on like this. It will be killed. Shalu's heart was like a mirror, knowing that Lazily would nightly kill him if she had played. Enough. The strong desire to survive made his mind clear. He began looking for every opportunity to escape. After playing for a while, Lazily didn't want to play anymore. Decided to solve Shalu. Lazily kicked Shalu to the ground, while the terrifying chi in her body condensed in her hand. It's now. Shalu grabbed the gap between Lazily's hands, and her hands were open on either side of her head. Sunfist. A violent light erupted from Shalu's body. Exposed to strong direct light, even if Lazily's physicalness is different from ordinary people. After being transformed, her eyes are still very fragile. Lazily's eyes suddenly turned white, and then her eyes felt a tingling pain, and she couldn't help but close her eyes. And Shalu also took this opportunity to instantly converge the breath on his body. Then he hid into the forest and quickly left the place under the cover of trees. Chapter 34. Sister, what's wrong with you? Are there any injuries? A familiar voice rang in Lazily's ears. She immediately let down her guard. When Mo Yuan came out of the spirit time house, he found that Lazily was no longer on top of the temple. Number 16 tells him that a green monster that looks like a bug has found him, and threatens to absorb Lazily and Lapis into a complete body. However, Shalu's strength is obviously much weaker than Lazily, and he was beaten to the ground. Listening to the description of number 16, Mo Yuan knew that the bug-like green monster was Shalu. Although I know that Lazily's current strength must surpass Shalu's, but Mo Yuan couldn't help but be a little worried. Moreover, he had just come out of the spirit time house, and now he did not sense the breath of battle, so he did not dare to delay and immediately released his heart eye. Soon, he found lazily just below the counter. Next to lazily, he didn't see Charlot's gear. Presumably he couldn't GHT, so he ed. However, lazily's state doesn't seem to be right. Thinking that something might be wrong with lazily, Mo Yuan's heart was immediately raised. Not daring to delay at all, he immediately burst out and rushed to lazily's side as quickly as possible. Lazily didn't understand what was going on with her. Originally, I didn't feel anything, but as soon as I heard Mo Yuan's voice, I inexplicably felt a pang of grievance. The little mouth pouted involuntarily. In addition, after she was hit by the sun fist, her eyes couldn't open with pain, and tears couldn't stop flowing. A pitiful look of grievance. Pitiful. Seeing lazily's appearance, Mo Yuan panicked. Look around lazily to see where she hurts. After the examination, it was found that lazily only suffered a slight injury to her eye, but it would only take a while to return to normal. Sister, tell me where you are uncomfortable. Mo Yuan was a little anxious. Lazily took a deep breath and calmed down for a moment. I'm okay. There. Soft voice was a little whimpering, but she really didn't have anything wrong, except for her eyes. There were no injuries at all. At most, when she kicked Charlu just now, her kick was a little sore. Charlu, ruin. Do people say it? And after so long, her eyes were no longer so uncomfortable, and the tingling sensation was almost gone. Lazily slowly opened her eyes. Tears were still rolling in their eyes. The originally watery eyes are really watery this time. It was Charlu who ran him away. Lazily was also a little sullen because Charlu said, "It's knee if you're okay." Mo Yuan held lazily's face and gently wiped the tears from her eyes with his fingers. Lazily felt the temperature of Mo Yuan's palm on her face, warm. Looking at Mo Yuan's handsome face, lazily couldn't help but blush. The majesty of the so-called sister that had been maintained in front of Mo Yuan was also gone at this moment. But instead of feeling embarrassed, she felt that a softness in her heart was touched. This feeling of being pampered doesn't seem to be bad. Not only does lazily not dislike this feeling, she even enjoys it. It's just that some Shio/Q lazily's little daughter posture can't help but make Mo Yuan look stupid. This was the RST time that lazily showed such a coquettish appearance in front of Mo Yuan. Usually, she is teasing herself like a female hooligans. Seeing Mo Yuan looking at herself obsessively, lazily was a little embarrassed and a little happy. Pretend to be calm, stupid. Haven't seen enough? Ugh. Mo Yuan suddenly hugged lazily into his arms and hugged her tightly with both hands, as if he wanted to rub her into his body. With his chin resting on lazily's shoulder, he whispered in her ear, "Not enough, not enough for a lifetime." Mo Yuan's words were like a sharp arrow, hitting the depths of lazily's heart. Feeling Mo Yuan's body temperature, lazily felt more at ease than ever. A pair of lotus arms wrapped around Mo Yuan's waist. It's all in the middle of nowhere. Oh, that's right. I don't know how long it took. Lazily suddenly remembered that there was still business to do, and quickly broke away from Mo Yuan's arms. Then he told Mo Yuan what Charlu had said just now. Lazily didn't care much about Charlu's words, but now that I think back, what Charlu said is a little strange. For example, he said that in 24 years, he would be born. But now the underground laboratory has been destroyed. Moreover, how could he appear now? He would only appear 24 years later. He should be me in other time and space. What? Lazily was in disbelief. After all, Mo Yuan and Charlu can't say that they are not alike. They can only say that they are completely different. Except that they are all synthesized by other people's cells. Whether it is appearance, breath, or everything else, it is completely different. Moreover, Charlu still had to absorb their siblings to evolve into a complete body. If Mo Yuan also needed to absorb them, Mo Yuan would have been able to do it a long time ago. In the Spirit Time House, lazily was defenseless against Mo Yuan. And Mo Yuan's current strength, even if she and Lapis combined, they can't beat it. In this case, Mo Yuan did not make a move on them, indicating that Mo Yuan did not mean to do anything to them at all. Mo Yuan lowered his head heavily, and his expression was solemn. He decided to confess part of it, except for himself as a crossover, and confessed everything else to lazily. According to the information transmitted to me by the computer, I should not be born so quickly, and the computer also says that if you absorb you can become a complete body. It may be that for some special reason, I was born in advance, and I found that the information I gave me was different from the computer. I only need to become a complete body through cultivation, and I don't need to absorb you. Lazily was stunned. But you're too bad. He's so ugly. How could this be born to a mother? According to the information given to me by the computer, Dr. Grow really designed me to look like that ghost. But sister, you must believe me. I will never hurt you. Mo Yuan's eyes were glued to lazily, and he was a little afraid that lazily would not believe his words. Will stay away from him because of this. I have to say that Mo Yuan's words had a great impact on lazily. However, lazily still believes in Mo Yuan. Or that reason. If Mo Yuan really wanted to attack them, whether it was before or now, he had many opportunities to do it. But he didn't, so lazily believed him. It's okay, sister believes you. Feeling the uneasiness in Mo Yuan's heart, lazily gently hugged him and comforted. However, Charlu is indeed a trouble. and he would nightly end a way to attack me and Lapis. Lazily was a little worried. After all, no one knows how strong Shalu can become by absorbing humans. In just one day, he absorbed hundreds of thousands of humans, and he became stronger than himself before entering the spirit time house to cultivate. And there are billions of people on the earth. If he absorbs them all, how strong will he become? Don't worry, Sharu elects him. Mo Yuan's eyes were full of killing intent. Lazuli and Lapis were his family, and he would never allow anyone to hurt them. Since just now, his heart has been open, shrouding the entire earth. Sharu was nowhere to be seen under the gaze of his heart's eyes. Now Sharu has run more than half the world on the other side of the globe. But if he at full speed, it would only be a few minutes. Wait, how could he have this thing? Suddenly, Mo Yuan's face changed greatly as if he saw a ghost. Chapter 35. What's wrong? Mo Yuan's reaction made Lazuli a little uneasy. Mo Yuan saw that Shalu suddenly stopped, and then didn't know where to take out a small box. Next, he took out a universal capsule from the small box. After a puff of smoke, a strangely shaped machine appeared on the ground. This machine is the time machine that fell from Trunks. Shalu did not expect that the artificial people in this world were so strong, and he was still faintly uneasy, and a voice in his heart told him to leave here quickly. The world was completely different from the history he remembered. There is an extra artificial human, number 16, and the terrifying power of artificial people. Far beyond history, everything speaks of the unusualness of this time and space. That is, Shalu did not meet Mo Yuan, or Lapis in the spirit time house. Otherwise, he will understand what cruelty is. Thinking of leaving here, Shalu was still very unwilling. After all, it has not yet become a complete body. But now is the time. Continuing to stay in this time and space, he may die at any time. It is better to leave this time and space to ND. Another possibility. And he also met Trunks, who grew up. Trunks Shalu is no stranger. In the time and space he is in, Trunks was killed by him. So the Trunks that appeared in this space-time are nightly the Trunks of the third space-time. At this time, Trunks was still in this space-time, which means that the Cyborg 17 and 18th of the third space-time have not been eliminated. And he got the time machine from Trunks. Sharu has already thought about it. First go to the third space-time to absorb the two artificial humans. After becoming a complete body, he returns to this time and space. The artificial humans of this time and space are so powerful. If you absorb them, you may be able to surpass the complete body. Become a more powerful being than the complete body. Thinking of this, Shalu couldn't help but tilt the corners of his mouth, revealing a hint of an evil smile. Then, his heart was his hand rose and fell, and he directly cut off his lower body. Because the time machine is too small to tee him completely. The last time he came to this time and space in a time machine, he chose to degenerate himself into an egg. To be honest, that is so irrational. As a result, he wasted several years of time. With the ability of the name X, he can completely shrink himself, physical level, and change back. After traveling through time and space, he manipulated his upper body into the time machine, and then he pressed a few times on their machine. Finally, I took a deep look at the world. I'll be back. The time machine disappeared in an instant. Only Shalu's lower body and a pool of purple blood remained. Damn, it's still a step slower. Not long after Shalu left, Mo Yuan arrived. After seeing Shalu take out the time machine, Mo Yuan didn't have time to explain to Lazuli, and rushed all the way at full speed. It's a pity it's still a step late. Looking at the half-amputated limb on the ground, Mo Yuan was a little helpless. He never expected that Shalu would actually get a time machine. The original plot did not have this one. It seems that this time and space have also changed because of his own appearance. Except for the abandoned time machine when Shalu himself came, there is only the time machine on Trunks on Earth. After taking a look with his heart, Trunks was at the house of Bulma, the western capital. And Bulma is now repairing that abandoned time machine. Presumably, the time machine that Sha rides on comes from Trunks. Mo Yuan casually released a Kaigong wave to evaporate the stump on the ground to avoid polluting the environment. It was a pity that he was escaped by Shalu, but Mo Yuan was not too afraid. Who isn't a complete body anymore? Mo Yuan is still very content in his strength. Counting the year of cultivation in the underground laboratory, plus the year and a half of cultivation in the spiritual time house. Mo Yuan was also a martial arts trainee who had been practicing for 2.5 years. With 2.5 years to lay the foundation, Mo Yuan is not afraid of any challenges. However, this incident also made Mo Yuan a little more vigilant. This world is a real world, and your own appearance will change this world, and everything will no longer be like the original plot. Just like today, he originally thought that Shalu could not escape the palm of his hand, so he did not chase and kill Shalu at the RST time, but let Shalu escape. But he didn't expect that Shalu would get a time machine and run directly to another time and space. This lesson Mo Yuan wrote down. Never make such a low-level mistake again. And Trunks in the western capital is in a hurry now. The whole person did. The loss of the time machine terrified him. He was afraid that Sharu would run to the future time and space. Without him, The Earth in future space-time is a soft persimmon, and anyone can pinch a few times. And his mother, Trunks, didn't dare to think about it anymore. He was no longer in the mood to practice with Vegeta. I just want to wait for Bulma to exit the time machine, and then immediately return to the future space-time. No matter what, he must stop that monster. Future space-time. In the midst of the ruins, a strangely shaped machine appeared out of thin air. The transparent lid opened slowly. A green monster with only half a body floated out of it. If this scene is seen by ordinary people, they must think that they have seen the hell, because this monster, which is only half a body, is still dripping purple liquid at the break in his waist. A monster with a half body, dripping blood, waiting in the air, who is not afraid when he sees it. Sharu took a deep breath. The smoke of war and the smell of death. Gog. Sharu looked intoxicated and licked his lips. The taste is so fascinating. On the 17th and 18th, I will come to you soon. You must have been looking forward to it for a long time, right? Shu Lu imagined that he had absorbed number 17 and number 18 into a complete body, and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Half a day. Sharu nearly calmed down. Time to get down to business. Sharu urged the chi in his body, and after a while, his lower body strangely emerged from there. Fracture. Then he put away the time machine. After all, he still has to rely on this thing to return to that time and space. But Sharu also found a problem. The time machine ran out of energy. The remaining energy before was only enough for him to come to this time and space, and there was no extra energy for him to go back. Thankfully, Sharu knew someone could fix that. The question of energy is a try-e, and the most important thing now is to absorb Cyborg 17 and 18. As for the artificial human strength in this time and space, Sharu is not worried because he has already seen this time and space Trunks. With Trunks' little strength, he can live under artificial humans for so many years. It shows that the strength of artificial humans in this time and space should be similar to their own time and space. No matter how strong it is, it can't be stronger. Chapter 36. Gunshots, explosions, and screams play the music of the end times. In this time and space full of death and despair, human beings can only shrink in dark corners, afraid to emerge. Gray becomes the tone of this world. In a hidden underground gathering place, a middle-aged beauty with short blue hair in a white coat, holding a tool in her hand, sweating at a machine. She nearly stopped and wiped the sweat from her face with her sleeve, a joyful smile on her haggard face. Finally successful. With this nutrient solution extractor, you can solve the urgent need for food shortage. In this last days, humans can't even grow food. Artificial humans can appear at any time, and humans simply cannot stay in one place for a while. They can barely survive on wild animals and wild vegetables. As for the material in the city, 20 years after the arrival of the artificial man, the materials in the city have either been destroyed or have been too long to eat. Although there are many wild resources, it is necessary to prevent artificial human attacks, so they dare not talk in groups when they go out to ND food, and they are all 1 or 2 people acting covertly. The chance of being discovered by artificial humans is indeed lower, but the harvest of food is also much less. Almost everyone ate the last meal but not the next. Don't say eat 3 meals a day. Most of the time, I can only eat once a day, and I can't eat enough. I can barely keep myself from starving. Bulma picked up a piece of wood, put it in the machine, and pressed the switch. The machine is running at a rapid pace. 2 minutes later, a glass of clear liquid like water is formed. Bulma picked up the cup of nutrient solution, put it in front of her nose and sniffed it. The smell of wood is not bad, but it is not fragrant either. Bulma drank the nutrient solution in one gulp. A bitter taste pervades the mouth. It's like drinking medicine. However, the bitter taste did not affect her mood. She drank sweet food and enjoyed the bitter taste. After drinking this cup of nutrient solution, Bulma can clearly feel that her body functions are replenished. It's like having a full meal. It doesn't taste good, but at least you don't have to go hungry, don't you? Trunks. The voice stopped abruptly. Bulma is about to share this joy with her son, but suddenly discovers that her son and the time machine travel to another time and space, looking for the power to defeat the artificial man. Thinking of her son, Bulma couldn't help but worry. It's been a few days. I don't know what happened to him over there. Has Goku's illness been cured? And Vegeta? Thinking of Vegeta, Bulma shook her head helplessly. Hopefully, he can put his pride down a little. However, Bulma also knows that this is not possible. After all, this is the Saiyan Prince, Vegeta, isn't it? Boom! Exclamation mark. Suddenly, the earth began to shake, and there was a violent explosion outside. Bulma's still somewhat weak body was shook by the shaking ground. This isn't the RST time this has happened, and Bulma has even gotten used to it a little in their past 2 decades. She didn't panic. Calmly get up from the ground and start collecting your things. Pack everything into a universal capsule. Dr. Bulma. A shout accompanied by hurried footsteps rushed over. Several men with guns on their backs hurried from outside. A bearded uncle asked, "Dr. Bulma, we have to evacuate quickly. The androids have arrived." Bulma nodded and said, "Well, I've already packed up my things. Have everyone else gathered? It's all assembled, and you're ready to go." Well, without further ado, let's get out of here quickly. After years on the run, they did not dare to delay at all, acted cleanly, and soon gathered with the others. Because of Trunk's protection, and Bulma often builds machines that make humans survive better. As a result, their ranks are getting bigger and bigger. There are nearly 1,000 people. It may sound like a small number of people, but in fact, this is already the largest gathering point on the planet. If there are more, it will be easy to expose the whereabouts, and it will be easily found by artificial humans. Therefore, they can only break up the human race into multiple small strongholds to avoid being served by artificial humans. Bulma will also often invent machines for Trunks to send to other strongholds so that humans can survive better on Earth. Tap tap tap, boom! Exclamation mark. Gunshots and explosions kept coming from outside. The children snuggled into their mother's arms and shivered. The adults hugged their children tightly, their faces full of fear. Even though I have experienced this many times, the fear in my heart cannot be eliminated. Dyer, come here. The bearded uncle shouted to a young man not far away. Uncle, what's wrong? Dyer heard the bearded uncle's call and immediately came over with a dozen young men around him. The bearded uncle unloaded the ray on his shoulder and handed it to Dyer. Take it, and I'll leave it to you later. A dozen uncles behind the bearded uncle did the same, unloading their rays and handing them over to the other young lads. Only a few grenades were left on them. Uncle, Dyer saw their actions, and her eyes immediately wet. They've faced this scenario an unknown number of times. Whenever the androids attack, the older ones stay to block the androids, while the younger ones take up the weapons and lead the others to E. It's not so much about blocking, but not about staying to satisfy the artificial man's desire to kill. When they have had enough, they will naturally leave. This has been true for 20 years. Otherwise, the human beings on the Earth would have been slaughtered long ago. Artificial humans are like playing a game of cat and mouse, little by little playing humans to lose their ability to resist, and then eating them in one bite. The bearded uncle patted Dyer on the shoulder and looked at him calmly. Don't be sad. We've been living for 20 years, that's enough. Their other uncles did the same. They know what they're going to face, but they didn't have the slightest fear. All they do is leave a ray for humanity. Go. The bearded uncle gave the order forcefully. Everyone moved in an orderly manner. A dozen uncles followed behind him. Resolute gaze, RM steps, and fearless faith form a powerful momentum and shock people's hearts. They walked with powerful steps towards the door. Dyer looked at their backs, tears welling up in her eyes like a faucet. With tears in her eyes, Bulma gently patted Dyer on the back and did not speak. Dyer suddenly raised his head and shouted at them, Uncle, what's your name? Crunch tilde. The gate opened, and the bearded uncle continued to walk forward without pausing. After going out, they closed the gate. Just when the gate was about to close, only a slit remained. A few clear words sounded in Dyer's ears. Sloan. Chapter 37. Boom. The door closed tightly, and the gears of the uncles disappeared. Sloan, Uncle Sloan. A big smile appeared on Dyer's tear-led face. It was the RST time he knew Uncle Sloan's name. 10 years. Every time when I asked my uncle's name, the uncle always said that the name is not important, just call him Uncle. No one in the entire stronghold knew his name. The older ones call the uncle Bearded, the younger ones call him Uncle. He has been with Uncle Sloan since he rescued him from the rubble 10 years ago. After all these years, he actually treated Sloan like his own father in his heart. Wipe away tears from your face. There is no time to be sentimental here anymore. They have to get out of here quickly. Otherwise, the sacrifices of the uncles will be meaningless. Dyer raised the gun that Uncle Sloan handed him and yelled go. Bulma also put away her sadness, hating herself in her heart that she was useless. As a genius scientist, her skill points are very different. She can even be made by machines that travel through time and space. In terms of weapons, it has not been achieved. Plus being hunted and killed by artificial humans all the time. Nor was there a large amount of material for her to study weapons. As a result, for so many years, she could only create some ordinary weapons. Although these weapons she made are already stronger than the previous ones. But these weapons can't do anything to artificial humans, even a little damage. Even if the androids stand and let them attack, they can't hurt them. In the end, these weapons can only be used for hunting. Boom. The blonde girl and the black-haired boy both emitted rays of light in their hands. Everywhere the light went, violent explosions occurred. The rays stained the heavens and the earth blood red. The young girl looked at these relights with a faint smile on her face. It's like enjoying a reworks feast. Not far from them, several vicissitude-looking men hid behind stones, occasionally popping up and shooting them with guns. These people have good marksmanship. 7 or 8 out of 10 bullets can hit them. However, these bullets seem to hit the indestructible steel, only rubbing sparks, but cannot cause a little damage. The young girl seemed to be a little irritated by these bullets, raising his hand to release several rays of light at the hiding place of these people. The aim zickered, leaving only a charred corpse. Abominable. Sloan, who had just come out of the stronghold, saw this scene, and his eyes almost cracked. Endless anger burned in my heart. He pulled out a grenade and threw it hard at the artificial man. Number 17 saw the grenade yield towards him and smiled disdainfully. Without thinking, he slapped the grenade with his hand, trying to shoot this thing away. However, At the moment when his hand touched the grenade, countless cracks appeared on the exterior of the grenade, and a violent light shone through the cracks on the faces of number 17 and number 18. Boom! A deafening explosion resounded through the world. A small mushroom cloud rises. The gas wave generated by the explosion knocked Sloane and the others hundreds of meters away to the ground. Hit! Sloane lay on the ground, looking hopefully at the mushroom cloud. This grenade was created by Bulma using a lot of resources to make. The power is 100 times stronger than that of ordinary grenades. Watch the huge explosion created by this grenade. Although Sloane didn't dare to say that he could destroy the artificial humans in one fell swoop with this grenade, he could at least get them injured, right? Little by little, the smoke dispersed. Sloane and the others stared at the center of the explosion. The smoke was gradually dispersed by the wind, and two dark shadows could be faintly seen inside. How could it be? After the smoke cleared, Sloane's group looked at the two people standing in place in disbelief. Two artificial humans stood in place with their arms folded, mocking smiles on their faces. They didn't have any wounds on their bodies except for their slightly torn clothes. Sloane and his party have not faced the android directly, so they have some guesses about their strength of the artificial human. But I didn't expect that even such a powerful grenade could not cause a little damage to artificial humans. At this moment, a sense of powerlessness arose. They couldn't help but wonder, can humans really defeat these two monsters? Number 17 patted the dust on his body and said boredly, number 18, I don't want to continue playing, it's too boring. Hearing this, number 18 bowed his head slightly. Is indeed boring enough. Yes, then let's wipe out all the humans and go to other planets to play. Looking at their tones, it was as if the extermination of humans was a trivial matter. Well, let's go. 18th has no objection to 17's proposal. She has been playing this game of chasing and killing humans for 20 years, and she has long been tired of playing it. It's time to change the game, like the extermination of humans, or destroy the planet. 18's pretty face had a cruel smile on it. Have decided not to play this game anymore. The 17th and 18th did not want to waste time here. They are ready to wipe out all humans from the planet as quickly as possible. The RST step is to start with these ants in front of you. Sloane's group saw the cruel expression on the artificial person's face, and they didn't need to think about it to know that they had bad intentions. Stop them! Sloane roared, pulled out the grenade and threw it at the android. More than a dozen people behind him also pulled out grenades. For a time, dense grenades smashed into the artificial man. The 17th and 18th were as if they had not seen the grenades. Let these grenades fall on them. Boom, boom. The explosions continued unceasingly. Looking at the artificial human buried by the explosion, Sloane did not dare to relax a little because he knew that these grenades were useless at all. But they didn't think they could wipe out artificial humans. They just want to drag the androids and give the others a little more time to evacuate. Not knowing why, Sloane had a bad premonition, especially the playful smile on the artificial person's face before the grenade exploded, like a nightmare, kept in his mind. Throw it, throw all the grenades. I didn't have it, I threw it all out. Me too, it's all thrown away. Everyone said the grenades were all thrown. When the grenades are thrown, it means that they don't have any weapons on them. Sloane's group waited for it. Next, they will face the androids with their bare hands. Flash away. Sloane saw a flicker of light in the smoke and immediately exclaimed. In an instant, everyone dispersed. At the same time, in the smoke, a ray of light shot out. Right in the middle of where everyone was standing. Boom! Exclamation mark. In an instant, the ground was blown out of a large pit of about 10 meters. Several uncles who ran slowly were directly blown up. Several more had their legs broken. Bastard! Seeing the miserable situation of his companions, Sloane was furious. Number 17 and number 18 liked Sloane's expression now. They love to see their prey incompetent and furious. This gives them an inexplicable sense of satisfaction. Number 17 and number 18 raised their hands again, their index fingers ashing. Hide! Sloane was shocked and shouted to his companion. Number 17 and number 18 looked indifferently at the young crowd, the corners of their mouths hooked. A stream of light shot out from their jaw tips, fast as lightning. Sloane suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest. Then he saw a light coming through his chest. He stumbled forward 2 more steps, and Nellie fell weakly. At this moment, he seemed to see his parents waving to him. Dad. Mum, are you Nellie coming to pick me up? Sloane knew he wouldn't survive. His heart had been shattered. But fortunately, they have dragged on long enough. Presumably everyone has been evacuated safely, so that I can rest too. So tired. Sloane slowly closed his eyes. He had a smile on his face, no reluctance, some just relief. Dire. You must live well. Chapter 38. In the wilderness, a convoy of more than 100 cars is moving at breakneck speed. Above the convoy, a blonde girl and a black-haired boy floated in the air and followed closely. Damn it! Dyer slammed the steering wheel. What are these two artificial humans trying to do? Since half an hour ago, 2 artificial humans have caught up with them, but no attack was launched against them. Just follow. At RST. They wanted to disperse the convoy and run away separately. But as soon as a vehicle leaves the convoy, the artificial human awaiting in the air will destroy it. With a car. Dyer, Change direction. There is a dead end ahead. Bulma looked at the map and frowned. Good. Dia immediately turned the steering wheel and prepared to change directions. As soon as Dia turned a corner, a ray of light fell from the sky and landed not far in front of their car, blowing up a huge crater on the originally aground. Stones splashed out of the explosion and smashed on the windshield of the car. All at once, the windshield was smashed out of a spider's web-like dense crack. Now, Bulma and Dia nearly understood. The androids are ready to drive them up a cliff. Dia pinched the steering wheel and looked at the giant pit in front of her dumbfounded. But they have no choice left. If you don't go, you will be killed immediately now. Keep going? That's just a little longer. Dr. Bulma, let's GHT with them. Dia gritted her teeth. He couldn't help it anymore. The android catches up, indicating that Uncle Sloan, whom he considers his father, has died at their hands. And now they have to be teased. Anyway, the horizontal and vertical are dead. It is better to GHT with them. Dia continued, Doctor, you'll stay in the car in a moment. We'll get the attention of the androids and end a way to lure them away. Nope. Bulma refused. Without thinking, Dia looked at Bulma and said seriously, Dr. Bulma, you are the hope of humanity, and without you and Lord Trunks, our people would have starved to death long ago and been killed by artificial humans. We people die when we die, but you are different. You can live so that mankind can survive better in this last world. For the future of mankind, please. Dia was well aware of Bulma's invention. If not for the protection of Trunks, these people can't live this hellish world for so long. Bulma was eventually defeated by Dia's pleading eyes. Seeing that Bulma agreed, Dia was relieved. Then he picked up the gun and opened the car door. After getting out of the car, he raised the gun in his hand and roared, brothers, we fought with them. In this stronghold, almost all of their old people have sacrificed almost as much. Most of the remaining guns were young men in their teens and 20s. The young men are at the age of angry and bloody, and they have long been played by artificial humans to become angry. Now they are afraid of anything, even if it is the sky. They want to poke a hole in it. So after hearing Dia's words, one by one they rushed down from the car with guns. Raise the gun in your hand and aim it at the artificial human in the sky. Shoot. As soon as Dia gave the order, everyone immediately opened fire. The bullet was like mercury, covering the 17th and 18th numbers in the air in all directions. Number 17 and number 18 hugged their arms, not bothering to hide, and let the bullets hit themselves. Boring. This kind of weak attack, like tickling, only makes him feel bored. Number 17 stretched out his finger and kicked it gently. A small air bomb popped out from his finger tips and instantly landed in the crowd on their ground. Boom! Exclamation mark. Huge flames burst into the sky. This air bomb came too quickly, and the power was so great that they didn't have time to dodge it. Not only did it kill several youngsters, but even several cars next to it were affected and instantly destroyed. Run! Dia yelled. Everyone ran into the car as if they had rehearsed. Then all the cars scattered and dead. The people who ran into the car were not idle. They opened the sunroof of the car, and from their skylight, they took their heads and shot wildly at the artificial people in the sky. Number 17 and number 18 looked at each other. The corners of 17's mouth hooked. Then play with them. Then see who kills more. After saying that, number 18 rushed out, and a dazzling light began to bloom in his hand. One by one, air bombs burst out from her palm. Boom! Bang! Ha 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 ha! Number 18 laughed maniacally. She didn't even aim, and the gas bomb in her hand poured out, and the speed of the gas bomb was comparable to that of Gatling. As a person with unlimited energy, she doesn't have to worry about insufficient energy at all. If you are poor, you will break it with a single click, and if you are rich, you will be covered by repower. Obviously, she belongs to the rich type. The explosions continued one after another, and the ground was dusty. Soon, a radius of several kilometers was shrouded in thick smoke and dust. Number 18 nearly stopped her crazy attack. Under her recover, almost an inch of land within a radius of several kilometers has been spared. The smoke gradually cleared. Thousands of ravines are exposed, like the ground on the surface of the moon. Cars and people are nowhere to be seen. It's not that they ran, but they completely turned to dust in the explosion. Devil, monster, demon. They are demons. Mom, I'm afraid. Seeing this scene, all humans were horrified. Those with poor psychological endurance have trembled all over their bodies and cannot lift a trace of strength. At this time, the 17th fell from the sky, and he still has a person in his hand. Dr. Bulma. When Dia saw the person in 17's hand, he immediately panicked. He didn't expect that the artificial man would actually do it directly to Bulma. Number 17 threw Bulma to the ground. Said lightly, no wonder you tried so hard to lure us away. It turned out to be for her. Bulma, this person number 17 naturally knows. Dr. Grog gave him the information that contains Bulma, a genius scientist, and the mother of Trunks who has blocked them several times. No wonder these humans would sacrifice their lives for her. Dia saw that Bulma was caught, and couldn't bear it anymore, and rushed out directly. spitting tongues of re madly in his hand. Tap DA. All the bullets hit 17. Annoying ants. Number 17 glared coldly. The gear ashed and disappeared in an instant. Then he appeared in front of Dyer and punched Dyer lightly in the abdomen. But it was this understatement punch that made Dyer bow into a prawn. Blood mixed with bitter water spat out of his mouth. Dyer felt that the entire internal organs were churned. The strength of the whole body was drained, and the consciousness was gradually blurred. 17 ignored Dyer after knocking him down and walked towards Bulma. He grabbed Bulma's slender neck and lifted her up. "Aren't you trying to protect her?" "Come on," Number 17 said to Antly. The youngsters clenched their guns, but did not dare to shoot. For the 17th lifted Bulma before him. If he shoots, he will definitely hurt Bulma. Moreover, guns do not work against artificial humans. They can only watch, but there is nothing they can do. "Huh, it seems that you don't want to save her." 17 saw that no one made a move, and began to exert strength in his hand. As 17's palm contracted, Bulma began to lose her breath, and the lack of oxygen made her entire face purple. Bulma's hand grabbed 17's hand, trying to pull 17's hand away. But where can her power shake the 17th? Gradually, she struggled less and less. Consciousness begins to blur. At this moment, Bulma really wanted to see her son for the last time, but unfortunately, boom. "You can't let you kill her." Chapter 39. Truly, you can't let you kill her. Suddenly, Bulma heard a somewhat evil-sounding voice ringing in her ears. Then she felt the hand that was pinching her neck loosen. She fell to the ground, greedily breathing fresh air. "Finally let me enter you, Cyborg 17, 18. The sorrowful voice sounded again. Bulma looked up. A tall green gear appeared in front of her. Bulma's RST reaction was big. But upon closer inspection, she found that this person looked completely different from Vic. Except for his similar color, the green skin has dense black spots. The wings on the back are shaped like the wings of an insect, and the face looks similar to that of an insect. Overall, it feels ugly to her, and nausea. The insect-like man pinched the hand that Number 17 had just pinched his neck. Seeing this scene, Bulma also understood that she was saved by him. Immediately, I felt that this weird man looked much more pleasing to the eye. "May I ask you?" When Sharu heard Bulma's question, he rolled his eyes and said, "My name is Sharu. I am a friend of Trunks, and I was commissioned by him to come and solve these two artificial humans." "Trunks?" Bulma was stunned. Bulma continued, "What about Trunks? Where is he?" "Trunks is still in another space-time. You know the size of the time machine, right? It's already hard just to put me down, so he's still waiting for me to bring good news back in another time and space." Sharu continued to echo. Bulma looked at Sharu's huge body that was more than 2 meters tall and somewhat believed Sharu's words. "Okay. Wait for me to settle these two artificial humans. Let's talk about it when it's settled." Bulma wanted to ask more, but before she could speak, she was blocked by Sharu. However, Bulma is not an unreasonable person, and it is really not suitable for family life now. So she nodded and said, "Well, okay." Then he stepped back and ran to join the others. "Ugly, who are you?" Number 17's hand was pinched by Sharu, and he couldn't pull it out at all, and his heart was horried. "Qijiang, your strength is too weak, but it's okay." Sharu felt the power of Number 17, which was similar to the information Dr. Gra gave him, and suddenly became excited. The eyes shone brightly at the 17th and 18th, as if they were seeing a delicious meal. However, the 17th and 18th are indeed no different from delicious food in Sharu's eyes. "It's going to be eaten anyway." "Bastard, you ugly monster, give me death." Seeing that Sharu did not answer his own question, he also laughed at his strength. Number 17 was immediately furious. He has always looked down on others. When is it the turn of others to look down on him? Still looked down upon by an ugly monster. Number 17 jumped up and kicked Sharu with all his strength. Sharu, who was still in the fantasy moment, did not pay attention for a while, and was directly kicked out by Number 17. As if hit by a cannonball, Sharu flew out at great speed, and the whole person crashed into their mountain peak 100 miles away. It shattered the mountain at once. Just kidding, right? This power. There. Humans on the side were once again frightened by the power of artificial humans. Bulma was stunned. The person who saved her just now was actually defeated like this? Wait, look over there. Suddenly a man shouted, and everyone looked in the direction he was pointing. A green gear was speeding towards them. After a while, Sharu appeared in front of them again. There is not the slightest wound on the body. As if it wasn't him who was shot off just now. Sharu touched the place where he had just been kicked by Number 17 and grinned. "It's good, it's good. It still makes me feel a little pain." Seeing this, Number 17 also understood that he was not Sharu's opponent. He exchanged glances with 18. As twins, they have a special telepathy between them, and they can understand each other's thoughts with a simple look. 17 and 18 use high-speed movement at the same time and instantly appear next to Sharu. The two attacked Sharu left and right. "Be careful!" the nearby humans all exclaimed. But Sharu didn't make any movement, as if he hadn't seen it. Boom boom. Number 17 and Number 18 slammed their whip legs earnestly on the left and right sides of Sharu's neck. "No way!" Number 17 and Number 18 were shocked and looked like they had seen a ghost. The two of them did not spare their hands, but this unreserved leg was like kicking on an indestructible stone. Not only was the stone undamaged, but they even felt their feet tingle. On the surface, Shalu seemed to have no defense, but in fact, the chi in his body had already spread throughout every inch of his body. After coming to this time and space, Shalu was looking for artificial humans number 17 and number 18, and he didn't waste the humans he encountered on the road, and they were all absorbed. The combat effectiveness has increased by another small goal. Now Shalu's combat effectiveness has reached 800 million, and the artificial humans 17 and 18 in this time and space have a combat power of only 400 million. It is only half of Shalu's. The difference in combat power is twice as strong as a chasm that cannot be crossed. With Shalu defenseless just now, 17's all-out blow could only knock him back, but could not hurt him. Now Shalu took the initiative to defend, let alone repelled. They didn't even have their quali cations to let Shalu move. Ha! Shalu's mocking voice stabbed the pitiful self-esteem of the two artificial humans at once. 20 years on Earth, this is the RSD time they have been looked down upon. All of a sudden, I lost my mind. The two turned into after images and launched terse attacks on Shalu again and again. The punches and feet are also mixed with energy attacks. But Shalu, on the other hand, is like a majestic mountain, and despite the wind and rain, he still stands here, majestic. That's awesome. The attacks of artificial humans are useless and have no effect at all. I declare that from now on, Lord Shalu will be my idol. Aren't your idols Dr. Bummer and Lord Trunks? Does having a girlfriend affect my recognition of a sister? For a moment, Shalu's image was innately magnified in the hearts of these people. Even his ugly insect-like appearance makes people feel very cool. 5 minutes passed. Shalu has also played enough. His hands were like poisonous snakes hunting, fast, accurate, and ruthless, and instantly grabbed one of the legs of number 17 and number 18. Then, like a sledgehammer, Shalu lifted both of them high and smashed them to the ground. Boom! A giant pit more than 10 meters deep formed in an instant. Number 17 and number 18 lay at the bottom of the pit like two dead dogs. Their clothes were tattered, and their bodies were covered with dense wounds, like two broken porcelain dolls. Bastard! Number 17 and number 18 endured the severe pain in their bodies and struggled to get up from their ground. Now the two of them looked at Shalu's eyes changed, with deep fear in their eyes. They were afraid. Shalu's power makes them smell death. They have lost their acting spirit and now just want to run away and stay away from here. The energy in the hands of the 17th and 18th condensed. Boom! Exclamation mark. Two energy bombs instantly burst out of their hands, but the target of their attack was not Shalu, but the ground near Shalu. The energy bomb exploded instantly on the ground. In an instant, the sky was covered with dust and smoke. The 17th and 18th, as if they had been discussed, quickly edged through the thick smoke. The two edged in two directions. When the smoke cleared, they were long gone. Chapter 40. Huh? The android ran away. Seeing that the artificial man had lost his tracks, Bulma couldn't help but exclaim, Hee, they can't run away. Shalu is very calm and has no surprise at the escape of the artificial human. Even the artificial humans were able to run away because Shalu deliberately let them escape. Otherwise, with Shalu's combat effectiveness, they would innately not be able to run away. Shalu was not in a hurry at all, because he had already left his mark on the 17th and 18th. Finding them is a breeze. Shalu pulled out a small box from his body and threw it to Bulma. Bulma, this is a time machine. The energy in it has been used up. I will go and solve those two artificial people now. You replenish the energy as soon as possible. Oh, good. Shalu suddenly threw something over, but Bulma didn't pay attention for a while, and she almost didn't catch it. After Shalu finished speaking, he directly pulled up on the spot and chased in the direction of their imprint. The reason why he wanted to let the androids escape was that he didn't want to absorb two androids in front of Bulma, afraid that Bulma will do something wrong. After all, he still had to rely on Bulma to replenish the energy of the time machine. What if Bulma saw something and was unwilling to replenish him with the energy of the time machine? So for the sake of conservation, Shalu decided to let 17th and 18th escape, then change places to absorb both of them. Of course, there is a second reason. It is afraid that if the artificial person sees that the other party is absorbed by himself, the other chooses to self-detonate. Wouldn't he have worked in vain? And now, they ed separately, just as Shalu wanted. After a while, Shalu sensed the imprint stop. Soon, a bare mountain appeared in front of Shalu, and the breath of the imprint is in this mountain. Number 17 sat down against the wall of the cave, and by this time he had little strength. Shalu's blow directly injured him. The internal organs are full of holes, and almost all the bones of the whole body appear large and small cracks. He felt like he was dying. The sound of clicking footsteps is particularly clear in this silent space. Number 17 stood up against the wall. He stared warily at the entrance of the cave, and the energy gathered in his hand, shining dangerously. The 17th pupil contracted violently. Although he had not yet seen the comer, he saw a tall, strangely shaped shadow, and the shape of this shadow coincided with the physical characteristics of the monster who had injured him just now. At the moment when Shalu appeared at the entrance of the cave, The energy light wave condensed in 17's hand bombarded him without reservation. Number 17 roared, "Give me death, you ugly bastard." The energy formed a huge pillar of light that directly led the entire whole. Shun in the face of such terrifying energy, Sharu not only had no fear, but even laughed. I saw Sharu facing the energy light wave directly, not dodging or dodging. At the moment when this terrifying energy was about to hit him, he nearly moved. Snap! Sharu backhanded, and this energy light wave directly turned a 90-degree bend in front of him, straight into the sky. Sharu licked his lower lip. He couldn't wait to taste this delicious dish. The tip of the tail behind him ashed with cold light. Without further ado, Sharu appeared directly next to number 17. The badly wounded 17 was no longer able to resist. The tip of the tail behind Sharu immediately expanded into the shape of a large bell. "What are you going to do?" Number 17 shouted in horror. "Kyaoji, become my nourishment." The tail in the shape of a large bell was like the blood basin of an ancient ferocious beast, directly devouring number 17. The huge amount of energy poured into Sharu's body, making him roar out. Energy washed over his body. Sharu felt his body getting stronger at an extremely fast pace. Boom! Sharu's body bloomed with dazzling white light, and a huge chi erupted from his body. The terrifying chi instantly raised this mountain to the ground. A cloud of white light floated in the air. Gradually, the white light converged, revealing the strong body inside. After absorbing the 17th, Sharu nearly became a mature body. The mature Sharu looks more like a human, and the facial features are more pronounced. Power, great power, ha 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 ha. After becoming a mature body, Sharu's laughter became much better. Feeling the powerful power in his body, Sharu felt that he was already invincible in the world. Even if he encounters the 18th of the previous time and space, he can easily defeat it. His current combat power has reached 8 billion, a full tenfold increase. After experiencing the beauty of a mature body, Sharu couldn't wait to absorb the 18th into a complete body. The mature body is so powerful, how invincible should he be in the complete body? Sharu triggers randomly. With a great increase in strength, he is ridiculously fast. It took less than 2 minutes to end the 18th. Follow suit. He quickly devoured the 18th. The 18th did not even have the ability to resist. Boom! A force that was even greater than before was born in Sharu's body. Terrifying chi erupted from Sharu's body. In an instant, the wind roared, and the green chi erupted from Sharu's body, forming a light mask and spreading outward. Everything in the path of the light mask is destroyed. Trees, boulders, and even mountain peaks cannot be avoided. Boom! Boom! Terrifying thunder and lightning traveled inside and outside the light mask. The entire Earth, and indeed the entire solar system, was shaken by this force. The terrifying aura spread throughout the galaxy. All living things trembled at it. On the Earth is shaken. Landslides, tsunamis, volcanic eruptions, and various natural disasters follow. Bulma, who was making time machine energy, was shaken to the ground by this sudden earthquake. What's going on? Could it be that artificial humans are here again? Listen carefully, but you don't hear the explosion. No, it seems to be an earthquake. Bulma felt like she packed her things up and ran to the open space. As soon as I came out, I saw a lot of people outside, and the sky outside was shrouded in dark clouds, and terrifying razors were churning in the sky. It's like an apocalyptic scene. Everyone looked at the sky and was silent, very depressed. Bulma didn't know what to say either. Fortunately, the vision of heaven and earth did not last long. 10 minutes later, the sky returned to normal again. Blue sky and white clouds, bright sunshine from the new returned to everyone's eyes. It was as if the vision just now was an illusion. Bulma suddenly found herself shrouded in shadows and looked back. Handsome guy, who are you? Before he could answer, Dia not far away ran over with a look of excitement. Lord Sharu. You must be Lord Sharu. Sharu nodded. Everyone was boiling. This handsome guy in front of him is actually Lord Sharu. In their impression, Sharu is a more casual-looking person. But this handsome guy in front of him, in addition to some similarity in appearance, his facial features are completely different from before, and anyone who sees it has to praise really handsome. Bulma looked at Sharu curiously and said, "How did you become like this?" Sharu chuckled, "It's nothing. The strength has broken through, and the form has become more perfect." Oh, Bulma suddenly realized, and then thought of one thing, and hurriedly asked, "What about artificial humans?" "I've wiped it out." As soon as these words came out, the crowd boiled again. The damned androids have nearly been wiped out and the war is over. Long live Lord Sharu. Lord Sharu is so handsome. Lord Sharu, I love you. 3. Lord Sharu, I want to give you a monkey. Lord Sharu, I want to fencing with you. It seems that something strange has slipped in. Sharu thought to himself as he looked at these cheering and hugging humans who were crying with joy. What would Trunks feel like if he knew that this time and space had changed into my shape? It must be exciting, right? After all, I saved this time and space. If you like this audiobook, subscribe the channel for more videos like this and join my Patreon if you want to support me. Leave some comment and let me know if you guys like this story, or you have a web novel you like and want to hear its audiobook. I will be happy to create them for you. Please like, share, and leave a comment on the video.